I don't know why I always have such a hard time thinking of what I'm going to talk about and just starting these videos. It seems like I have all these great ideas, and then as soon as I sit down and turn on the camera, my mind just goes blank and I can't think of anything to say, or I stumble around, or it takes me forever, or I end up having to speed up my videos just so I can get through it, because I feel like nobody's gonna sit down and actually listen to what I have to say. So what I decided to do is to just be myself, just sit here, say whatever comes to mind, and post it. And if somebody wants to watch it, they'll watch it, and if they don't, then they won't. And I feel like I don't need to keep trying to be what everybody, like, what I feel like everybody thinks that I should be, and just be myself. So I've been struggling with heroin addiction for about 10 years, maybe a little over 10 years. And I got sober again. I've been sober quite a few times, but I could never really stay sober. And I just been looking up recently the correlation between spirituality and recovery. Obviously, if you notice my name, it's spiritual recovery, which is, you know, pretty meaningful to me, because they well, my recovery started because I gave my life to Christ, and as soon as I started making the decisions to live for Him, like, that's when it was easy for me. And that's when it became easy for me to start making these changes. And this has been one of the easiest times quitting that I've had, because I know that I have that support and strength in God, and that with Him I can get through this. And before, I never had enough confidence in myself to do it. But now that I know that my confidence doesn't have to be in myself, that it can be in my higher power, I feel like now I can actually do this. And I just want to talk about how important spirituality is to me and for my recovery, because not only have I gotten sober, but I've been changing a lot of things. Like, I've been cussing way less. I used to cuss really, really bad, and now I hardly ever cuss. I'm working on quitting smoking cigarettes. I quit smoking actual cigarettes, and I smoke tobacco out of a pipe occasionally throughout the day, which is getting less and less and less. And just little things like this have become a lot easier to do. My anxiety has gone down tremendously. I actually just got a job. I was on antidepressants that I'd been on for years, and I was able to stop taking those, and I actually feel better now than when I was taking them. So I just noticed that it's been a lot easier for me to make a lot of changes to benefit myself in my life when I have the support of God. And like, I don't feel so depressed and sad and anxious all the time. This is really helping with my mental health. I've been reading the Bible and praying a lot, and I mean, even if you go to like NA meetings or AA meetings, well, the first step obviously is, you know, you have to admit and acknowledge the fact that you have a problem. And then I think the second step is like surrendering to a higher power. So I mean, even in recovery programs, they tell you or teach you that you have to submit and surrender to something bigger than yourself to be able to recover. And maybe not everybody agrees with that. Maybe somebody, you know, maybe your experience is different. But for me, I know that that's what I've had to do. And I did grow up Christian, so I've always kind of believed in God, but I got pretty distant from Him in the past, and maybe I'll make a video about why and how I got separated from God, from my higher power. But I just know from my own experience that working on your spirituality and having a higher power and surrendering to that higher power, no matter what you want to call it or whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be, you know, it doesn't have to be God. Your higher power can be, it can be anything that you choose for it to be. It can be your meetings, it can be your family, it can be the universe, it can be nature, it could be whatever you choose. I used to go to meetings and they would say that it could be a doorknob, so it doesn't have to be God, but for me that's just what I've chosen because I've always believed in God and it was just most relatable for me. So if you're struggling with addiction and you're trying to figure out a way to get clean and try to find something that's going to work for you, I would highly suggest, obviously, doing the first thing, which, like I said, is just admitting that you have a problem. But if you are trying to get sober and you are wanting to quit, then you probably already realize that you have a problem. And so the next thing is just deciding that you need help, and that it's going to require a little bit of help, you know, maybe a lot of bit of help to get where you want to be. I couldn't get sober on my own. I tried so many times for so long, and it wasn't until I decided to stop doing it my way and to try other people's advice and to try giving my life over to God and my higher power. So, I mean, what that looks like for me now is it means that I don't wake up selfish every day. I don't wake up every day thinking about how I can get high or how I can get drugs or how I can get money or how I could just be all about me and just all about myself. Now I wake up thinking about how can I be thankful? How can I show gratitude? How can I give back to other people? How can I give the glory back to God or your higher power? How can I be a better person? Like, these are the things that I ask myself every day, instead of waking up and just focusing on myself and what I want. It's really hard to do, but every day it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. So I just want to say that if you're struggling, really start kind of looking deep within yourself and try to find something bigger than yourself that gives you the motivation to do better. Maybe it's, you know, you have kids that you want to be better for. I don't have any, I can't have kids, but I mean, family. I mean, maybe you have a job that you don't want to lose. Just find any reason. Maybe you got legal problems. Just find any reason to start living better. And being a spiritual person doesn't mean that you're religious or anything like that. Spirituality is your relationship that you have with your higher power, and that's the difference between religion, in my opinion, is like what other people tell you that you should think and believe and feel, and your own spirituality is it's your own personal experience and your own relationship with your higher power. And that's the difference between religion and spirituality. So, but I really feel like spirituality plays a big part in recovery, because if we could save ourselves, then addiction wouldn't be a thing. And so I feel like it's really necessary for us to identify what we want our higher power to be and choose to surrender to that higher power, which means that we stop trying to do it our way, and we stop trying to just be selfish and live for ourselves, and we try to think of how we can be a better person for everyone and everything around us. Yeah, so I looked at the definition here of spirituality, and it says the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. So, I mean, that goes perfectly with what I'm talking about, and not just living for, you know, your disease, for your addiction, for your drugs and your substance every day, and being more concerned about like your true self, who you are as a human being, you know, what you stand for, you know, what you're going to leave behind. Because I've always said that as long as we're alive, anything can be fixed, you know, but once we're passed away, or someone we love has passed away, then that can no longer be fixed. And you know, being afraid of someone in my family passing away is actually a reason that I've gotten sober quite a few times. But it was never enough to keep me sober, because, like I've mentioned, only my higher power has given me the strength to be able to do that, and I couldn't save myself. I tried to do it a million times, and I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten sober, but have never been able to stay sober. So just, you know, if you're ready to get clean, just start thinking about, you know, your representation, like who you are, who you want to be, what you stand for. And getting sober, one of the best things that I've enjoyed about getting sober is getting to know myself, and that's part of like seeking out, you know, your spiritual side, is getting to know your true self. And I've loved to go and just try new hobbies. Like, I love to roller skate and rollerblade, right? So I knew that because I did it when I was younger. So I thought that I would like to ice skate. So I went and tried ice skating. I hate it. Absolutely despise it. And I really thought that I would like it, but I didn't know I didn't like it until I tried it. And that's just one of the many positive things that you get to experience when you get sober. Is you get to know yourself, you get to learn yourself and who you really are. And honestly, I surprise myself a lot, because since I started using at such a young age, around about 19, 20, I never really got to know myself that well. And even before my addiction took off, I was still drinking and smoking weed, and so I mean, I was never, around 18 is when I started like drinking heavily and then smoking, and then it just spiraled into like harder drugs, and you know, that's like that. But I really like had this idea in my head of who I thought I was, and then now I'm finding out that I'm nothing like I actually imagined myself being, and it's really surprising, and it's really interesting to get to actually see who I am compared to who I thought that I was, or who I thought that I would be. So yeah, I just wanted to talk today a little bit about spirituality and how it pertains to your recovery. And you know, I just want to encourage you, if you're sober or you're trying to get sober, just, you know, make a list of all the reasons why you want to get clean. You know, make a list and look at that list and look at it and say, you know, either this is why I want to get clean, or this is why I've gotten clean. And just look at that list and keep adding to it, and look at that list and remind yourself every day of why you're doing this or why you want to do this. So thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, subscribe. I talk about like I said, spirituality, recovery stuff. I just want to share my experiences and a little bit of advice, and you know, take what you need, leave the rest. I just want to give back to help other people, because I don't want everything that I've been through to be for no reason. I want some good to come out of it, and to be able to help other people with what I've been through. So thank you for watching. Even though I haven't met you, I understand the struggle. Maybe I don't understand your struggle exactly, but if you're struggling with addiction and this terrible disease, my heart goes out to you, and I just want to say that you are loved. So stay blessed, be careful, and don't give up. Don't ever, ever, ever give up. Keep fighting.